Houston Rockets, your boys are up. Houston Rockets have been in trade talks basically since before the season even started because everyone's like, oh, it's time to go trade for a superstar. So, boys, what are we thinking? Buy, sell, or stay put at the deadline for the Houston Rockets?
Stay put. Surprisingly, there was years, months went off my brain, even though it was just 2 weeks. It felt like it was months. The stress, the anger, the anguish. Jimmy Butler coming to this team, De'Aaron Fox coming to this team. Obviously, I've made my jokes tonight about anyone and everyone coming to this team. But this is some of the best Rockets basketball I've seen in 5 years. Like you can't ruin any of that. We talked about Steven Adams earlier today. Him being in that backup role, it's like you got your guys now. Even with no Tari Eason and Jabari Smith Jr., your team still looks amazing. Like arguably a top 5 team in the NBA, and we're well past Christmas. Stoney, this is awesome. We got to stay put.
Yeah, I think sort of. I really want some shooting help. Similar to Dallas's thing, though. It's just because the Jabari injury coupled with Tari being like just a huge question mark. We have no idea when he's coming back. He's got this mystery leg injury. Like those are two really important positions, two power forwards. And Jabari obviously has been shooting the lights out lately. Tari is a capable shooter. And we as a team are terrible at shooting. And so we just need as many as we can get. And now that we finally have Jalen playing well, since like Thanksgiving Eve, really, like he's been pretty good and looks to be trending up. Fred playing more off ball, being a spot up shooter instead of all the pull ups that make me like want to never watch basketball again. Jalen, Amen, Şengün create just like walking paint touches. They need guys to kick out to. And so I need a shooter, even if it's a rental, even if it's an expensive rental, just because we've got some house money to just throw around.
Malik Monk comes to mind.
I mean, yeah, maybe. I want a guy that's totally comfortable catching and shooting, and that's it. Like, because I think those guys are relatively cheap, and if you can strike the right deal with someone, obviously Cam Johnson's like the, cream of the crop version of that, and we're not going to get him cheap. But someone in that mold who's like totally fine being a relocation guy. I mean, maybe
Grayson
I haven't
Allen, welcome
kept up
to Houston.
Oh, that'd be so toxic.
Oh,
I have the perfect match for you guys. He's $16 million. He's $16 million a year. So it's not too bad in today's NBA, which is absurd. That $16 million is not too bad. Catch and shoot whenever he wants. And if he's given the ball, he's going to catch it and he's going to shoot it. Tim Hardaway Jr.
There it is.
Oh,
there it is.
Now listen. I think Tim Hardaway Jr. is not very good, but when that dude sees Rocket Red, he goes full bull mode and he tries to kill everything in his sight. So maybe they could channel that. But long story short, I do not want the Rockets to trade for De'Aaron Fox. I do not want the Rockets to trade for Devin Booker. I don't think that they fit the timeline. I don't think it makes sense if the rest of this season goes how it seems it will.
Yep.
If everyone gets tired and burns out and you're like, okay, we need a massive pivot, do that in the offseason. So I think they're buying, but I think it's like minimal. And I think they're willing to hang up the phone if it's not like a cheap deal that makes sense for someone like a shooter.
Definitely. You're on pace to 55 wins. Like, why would you?
Yeah. Just chill out.
Yeah. Stone, you got anything here?
Your best players are 22.
Exactly.
Stay put. This is the first year of the real rebuild that you've actually seen fruits of your labor, and losses essentially is what you've seen. You added some pieces in free agent, obviously, before last season. It's finally coming to fruition. Your team's finally understanding what Ime Udoka wants to see on the court. See it out through this playoffs. See what happens in the playoffs. Like if you make a giant run of the Western Conference Finals, all you do is just go add a piece or two in free agency, or you make a small trade. You get rid of some fat. You add in some good stuff, some lean meat in there, and maybe it works out then. But if it all crumbles down and you miss the playoffs somehow, or if you get just waxed in the first round, then obviously then you can be like, okay, who's the superstar available that we can add to this team without trading a large majority of our core. But this team is fun. It's an easy watch. It's kind of gross basketball, but it's easy at the same time. I love it. It's my brand of basketball.
Nasty but ethical. I'm thinking that's the way.
Sure. Yeah. I like this team where they're at. They're good where they're at right now, obviously. Just see it through the playoffs is the first real year that you're actually getting to watch real Rockets basketball since James Harden left. So stay put.